Hey everyone, very warm welcome to this video. So today I have Paul Skarie, who's been kind enough to hop on for an interview. And Paul runs a software called WordTree. And basically what he does is he helps Amazon sellers manage their PPC campaigns, search for appropriate keywords, and helps people get their products more visible on the Amazon marketplace. So Paul, thanks so much for joining me. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
No worries, man. So super early for you, right? What time is it for you there in Indiana?
7:30 now, yeah.
7:30 a.m. Cool, man.
Yeah,
That's it's an early start for you. It's
yeah,
half.
fortunately. If you had
Yeah.
to, it's waking up at this time anyway, so that's right.
Oh, it's 1:30 here in Stockholm, so I'm halfway through my day. To be honest, I woke up late today anyway, so I feel for you, man. But yeah, we're going to provide a lot of value today. Hopefully, talk about your
Yeah.
story a little bit. Focus on because I know you've sold on Amazon and you've been there and done that. And
Mhm.
then yeah, we'll explore some of the stuff that WordTree can do as well. So let's start with your FBA journey. So when did you start selling, and what motivated you to want to sell stuff on Amazon?
Well, my cousin started selling on Amazon, and he told me about it. So I started reading about different ways I could go about the business. So I decided to go with retail arbitrage and books, because it really took low investment, and uh, you could, I don't know, there were just huge margin on books. And then with retail arbitrage, I was finding a lot of things that I could make like double my money on, and move pretty quick. And so I got pretty good at book selling, but it's a lot of work. Um,
Hmm.
I would
Oh,
go to like library sales, and then you use scanners, and you can like scan through barcodes extremely fast, and then upload like hundreds of books. And you go to like stores and check all their clearance, and then scan the barcodes on all the products that are in the clearance section, and then sell it that way. Or go to like discount stores and then scan products and find products that have enough margin on them that you could bring them into Amazon. I
that's
know a lot of
awesome.
that's pretty difficult these days. It's not, there's a lot of competition that eats into your margins. It's harder to find those products.
Yeah, it can be tricky. I mean, I started with arbitrage. Um, and it's amazing how little you can spend in the beginning to get things
Mhm.
moving. Like, did you have, like, tell me about a time when you realized that arbitrage really worked? Like, was there a product or something that you bought and then it sold and you couldn't believe it in the beginning?
Yeah, but it's been a long time now. I know it was some toys for sure I started out with, and I got them at Target. I don't know if you have Target. Yeah, well, a big retail store anyway. And I would say it was pretty exciting in the beginning, and it was amazing how fast you could turn over products. It like hit Amazon and sell within a week. It was, yeah.
That's
How
awesome. I
many
mean, I did
years
the
have
same
you
thing.
sold? Huh.
Sorry.
How many years have you sold?
So I started in 2015, and the same as you, I started with arbitrage and selling lots of toys. I think one of the first things I sold were, I think there was a, it was like a video game that comes with these figurines called Skylanders.
Oh yeah.
And I think they'd connect to the, I don't know if it was like it was definitely Nintendo or I can't remember, but I would buy them for like £2 or £3 and they'd sell for £15. And they would
Hmm.
just go crazy. Like the second they hit Amazon,
Yeah,
they'd
they're
fly
done.
out. And, I started with basically no money. So yeah, it was a good way to build up capital. So do you remember roughly how much capital you had, when back in the beginning when you
Boy,
started?
like nothing, like $150. Yeah.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
and so
Well,
what level did you grow the arbitrage to? Like, were your monthly sales on average when you got things moving?
Yeah, I was up to around about 6,000 a month. Yeah,
Awesome.
gross sales. Yeah.
Cool. So it was just like a nice little side income on the top. Like, did you have a job at the same time as well?
No, I was able to do it full time. Yeah,
Nice. Awesome. It can be
yeah,
quite profitable.
it was pretty good. And it seemed like as I was going, the competition was getting more and more difficult. There especially became this one guy that came in and like he actually put together a team and they were all going out and like yeah, uh, so that kind of killed it. But I started looking into private labeling. I think I did that for about 2 years and then moved into private labeling.
Cool. So tell me, so like, how did you transition? Yeah, how did you find your first products to import from China?
Well, I brought it up to my cousin and we just started looking through products and talking to manufacturers in China. So we decided to go with printer ink cartridges because there was like huge margins on printer ink cartridges. And I mean, it's kind of a more difficult product, and I wouldn't suggest it anymore. But at the time, yeah, you could get like, 400% markup on printer ink cartridges. And so we bought like a whole group. I think it was 10 different printer ink cartridges. And then I think that we got 15 of each of the models and we sent them in and then just went and saw how well they sold. So just kind of a little test, made a real simple listing. Packaging was like way out of whack. It was too big, so it like killed all our profit and all that. But it really didn't matter. We were just kind of testing to see what works. And in the beginning, you really don't want to take any big risks. You just want to see what's gonna sell in Amazon. And if you've done your due diligence up front, you'll know that if you find a product that works, you can get your costs down by improving the packaging and buying in bulk. But you know,
Cool. So how many units so you start with a test batch for these. So these were
mhm.
like, so you get the official printer ink cartridges sold by, I don't know, Kodak or whatever. So you were selling like replacement ink cartridges that were just like unbranded. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I mean, we slapped our brand on it. We had, you got to create your own brand, all that. But even that, you don't have to do right away. You just until you find a product that actually makes sense, then you got to start actually registering your brand and all that.
Mm.
But yeah, so we found uh, three different models that worked well for us, or that sold well, and that we would continue with. And then we started. Uh, they they were selling actually extremely well, and printer ink cartridges has a pretty big advantage as to that the conversion rate, meaning like when somebody clicks on a listing, they're likely to just buy it. They're not going to be shopping around very much. So you can really, and you get repeat customers. So it's kind of a staple product. Um,
Cool. So your RA
so
was doing, say, 6K a month. How much did you grow the private label to? Did it completely replace all the books and the retail arbitrage?
uh, it was, we were doing, I don't know. I think we were hitting about 30,000 a month. I know we ended up having a lot of problems with money, just to kind of keep the stock in because there's this big delay between when you make your order and when you actually get it in. It takes like about 2 months. You kind of want to make your order into the manufacturer, and then by the time it's actually in Amazon, it takes about 2 months. So now you have all this money that's out to the manufacturer, and as your business is growing, you're having to outlay more and more money. And I remember at some point we hit this spot where we were having to borrow money because we just couldn't. Uh, we were we weren't actually making any money. It was all getting reinvested back into our stock, trying to just get it built up big enough. And then, yeah, at that point we were making, I know we had 30,000 just in stock. So it was our cost for the manufacturer, product cost.
Mm. That can be one of the challenges of Amazon, isn't it? It's like the delay between when you buy the products and when the profit comes in. So managing the cash flow, yeah, it can be really crucial. So
Plus when you get hit with taxes, boy,
mm,
because yeah, like they tax it as income, even though you've taken all your money and you've been putting it back into the business, and you don't actually have the money to pay the taxes because it's all back in. Yeah, and then once you hit a certain point though where the sales are starting to level off, then then you're really pulling in a lot of money.
mm, yeah, it's about that balance and just putting aside as much as you can consistently to save for the taxes, and then um, also not over investing in stock. I think that's a mistake I've made in the past, is thinking, okay, this product's hot, I'm going to order 2,000 units, and then realizing, wait, it's going to take me 6-7 months to get that money back, and then
Hmm.
being in the red.
And it can really hurt your listing to run out of stock, because Amazon can really punish you. It's hard to get back into to rank back up to where you were when you've run out of stock.
Mm, exactly. So you guys built a brand, is that right? You had your own logo,
Mhm.
packaging design, things like that.
Yeah, and I'll say one thought comes to mind is you really want to like do whatever you want for do whatever you can for the customer. So like any complaint at all, I was just refunding. I was always about like our protecting our rating on Amazon. It's probably the reviews or whatever. You got to protect your reviews more than anything, because that will kill your listing more than anything. And it's very difficult to get those reviews, especially. So a bad review is it's just difficult to cover up. To get enough good reviews to cover up your one bad review is tough. Like, so you're better off just refunding all you can, because those reviews are worth so much.
Getting reviews is kind of like pulling teeth on Amazon. Like I think with something
Mm.
like eBay, there's a culture there where people know they're supposed to give feedback. So every single sale, pretty much you'll get feedback. With Amazon, I think
Mm.
customers don't even realize they can leave reviews. Like, did you guys have any strategies to get customers to leave a review?
Yeah, we were doing the in email feedback program, but I know that's not really, at the time you could just send it to anybody, and now Amazon's really restricted how many emails you can send out or who you can even send them to. So the email reviews don't, asking for reviews don't work like it used to.
Mm. Yeah, it has got a bit harder. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a case nowadays. It's a case of patience, right? Just basically wait until you get enough sales, so the reviews kind of come in naturally. And
Yeah.
there's some people who just, you know, who will just buy products and they leave a review for everything. So if you can get one of those customers to buy your product, then yeah, they are out there. Some people they take videos, pictures of the product, and go into like a real a detailed review. So it's just a
Yeah.
case of getting enough
Yeah, you hope
sales.
you get one. Or you can, I've seen some people are now doing like inserts. So you could put in the insert with your product and like ask for a review, or you can, give a discount for the next product. Or I'm not too up to date on that stuff, what's legal and all that, or, according to Amazon's rules. Uh, but I know that some of the products I've bought on Amazon, I've been getting these little inserts in there where you can see people are fishing for or a review. So
Mm.
look into that.
Yeah, that's one way. So having like a little card that comes in the package saying, thanks so much for your purchase. Please leave us a review. As far as I know, that's fine. I think as long as you don't incentivize it and say, look, if you give a review, then we will give you X, Y, Z. Then I think it's okay. And as long as you don't try and get the customer onto your own email list that way, which is a little bit risky. So I'm curious, how
Another
to
thing. Oh, sorry.
carry on.
One other thing you could do on there too is say if you have any issues, here's how you can contact us, so you can make sure that you're ahead of it and you can support that customer before they leave the bad review. Because
Mm.
some of these
Sometimes
guys don't
some
understand how they can, get that support they're actually looking for.
exactly. Sometimes they use the review as a way to kind of vent with the issue that they
Yeah.
received, and it's completely unrelated to the quality of the product. It's like, oh, I didn't receive this, or it was
Mhm.
late. And yeah, if you can
Yeah.
just tell the customer, to send us a message, that sometimes they don't leave the negative review. So I'm curious, how did you figure out that printer cartridges were going to sell really well?
Well, you're just contacting manufacturers in China and finding out their pricing, and then you're going into all the listings on Amazon, and so I find a model of printer cartridge I'm interested in, and then I'll start doing different ways of searching it in Amazon, and I'll see what my competitors are selling at there, and I can get an idea of. Oh, and then you can do the calculation in Amazon to see what their fees are going to be. So the product cost and the fees, and then you can see how much of a markup there is and whether it's going to work or not.
Hmm. Yeah, but how did you find that niche in the first place? Like, did you use any tools to find, to decide that you actually were going to sell the printer cartridges?
I don't. It was I just knew that printers have that reputation of really you know gouging you on the printer ink cartridges. So yeah.
So it's like a hunch, and then you got it. So you got in a test batch. How? So when you ordered the small quantity from China of the printer ink, how many did you order? Like the first shipment?
It's 15. It's 15. 10 different models and 15 of each.
Interesting. Cool. Okay, so you tried loads of different variations, and then did you just put them all on the same listing, like as a variation,
Three of
or?
them worked. No, they were all different listings. Yeah, you're definitely better
Interesting.
off always spreading out the listings, in my opinion. Anyway, we didn't find it was very helpful to have the listings together. Or
Interesting. So you put them all on separate listings, and then
Mhm.
so I'm curious, how did you get them to sell? Like what did you do? So you had these 15 um, different types of product. How
Yeah.
did you get your first few sales?
Um, Nothing special, really. I mean, we just would look at the competitor listings, and then we would steal, most of their text, and then just kind of rework it ourselves. So we take the things we like about what the other listings have written, and then we'd kind of rework them and make our own. And then kind of paying attention to the keyword coverage, meaning like making sure the listing is showing up when a customer searches. So um, something like you want like the printer model and the printer, ink cartridge model, and then you'd want to like put the colors and things like that. So when they're typing in a specific phrase, you've actually covered all the keywords within that phrase, so you'll show up. Otherwise, you're missing a single keyword within that phrase, you won't even show up for that customer search. So once we've kind of covered everything, we didn't really have to do anything more than, we'd keep our prices lower than the competitors because we knew we, had lower review counts and all that. So we needed to give some reason for them to pick us over the competitor.
Interesting. So it was a mixture of, getting the listings right. So like you said, you reworded competitors' listings, which is a good, it's better than nothing, right? Just doing something, if something's working for someone else, then you can certainly mimic what they're doing and model. And then you got the keywords, right? So tell me a bit more about keywords then. So you mentioned you type onto the listing, the title, the bullets, the description, the back end keywords,
Yeah.
phrases that customer would type into the search bar. Is that right?
Yeah. So you're trying to kind of think about, well, at the time, this is the way I did it, but it's easier now with these tools. But basically, you would be trying to think about all the different ways the customer would search for your product. And then you got to make sure that you have every keyword within that search. So when you build a front end, you were looking to just get the sale. So it's all about like, wording it so that it's easy for them to read and they can skim through it. You're kind of looking to do a mixture of, there's like two different types of customer. One that's gonna just skim the listing. So you want like bullet points and easy to read and find the information they're looking for. And then there's ones that will want to read the whole thing. So then you have to put in some areas where it's high detail. So when they're coming through and they're really wanting to get into the high detail, they can find that information. So you can hit both types.
That's a really good point. And some customers only ever look at the pictures. So it's really important to get as much detail in the pictures as possible. Because like you say, there's loads of different types of customers. Some will just skim parts of the listing and then buy or not buy. Other people read the whole thing like it's, some kind of litigation, in a courtroom, right? They're analyzing every single line. So the more detail you can put in,
that's important. Yeah.
the better.
For,
Exactly.
hit both people. And you're right about the image is probably one of the most important things. It's just to get them to even click on your listing, and then it needs to be quality because they're going to associate your brand with that image. And we don't have packaging like when you're in a store and you're looking at the product, you're looking at that package, but we don't have package when we're selling on Amazon. Our packages are our image.
That's the thing. They can't see, touch the product in real life. So you just got words on a screen, pictures on a screen. You have to
And
make that kind of do all the work. So I'm
yeah.
curious, with like a printer cartridge, it's quite a sort of non-glamorous product. So how did you make the pictures look attractive so people would want to click on it?
Well, at first we just used the manufacturer's pictures, and then when we're running the test, we're just trying to find the product, so we're not worrying about it. And after that, we just found a photographer that would take the pictures for us. We used Fiverr. You
And
can
then
do it yourself, but it's,
did you send the product to them so they could take the photo for you?
yeah. I think it's worth it. You can do it yourself though if you want to build like a light box. You can create a pretty good image doing it that way. But it takes some knowledge. But you can YouTube that and do it. I've done it
definitely.
before, and it's not so bad.
Yeah, if you're willing to put in the time, you can certainly make great images. And also, if you've got a phone, everyone's got a phone, right? The camera on most smartphones these days is like exceptionally good quality. So you can
Yeah,
get at least a half decent looking professional image just with a phone and some. What I do is just put the picture near a window and just use daylight coming in from the window, and quite often that can actually look really natural and really good
yeah.
for product images. So, okay, so you grew this private label business to 30K a month. You had some cash flow issues, as every Amazon seller does. You're pushing forward, trying to get the sales coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and then you decided you wanted to create a tool to help Amazon sellers. So tell me, like, when was it that you decided that it might be a good idea to do this?
Well, I could go into one more private label product if you want. It's
Yeah, go
kind of an
ahead.
interesting story.
Absolutely.
We went into controllers, so we started selling PS3 controllers, and we were doing it right around Christmas, and those things exploded. I mean, it was amazing how fast they would sell it.
So this is
Yeah.
unofficial third party
Mm,
PlayStation. So it's an electronic.
yeah.
Man,
No,
tell
it
me
was
tell me about it. Must have
yeah, it
been.
was risky, but we tested multiple products from manufacturers till we found one that made quality controllers. Uh, I just once we found one that was good, and it was really just more decent than good. Um, but we could undercut their pricing, Sony's pricing, and we like when it was getting close to Christmas, our net profit was about $3,000 per day.
Whoa,
It
three
was
grand a day
yeah,
selling third
profit.
party. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and then we had to borrow money again because we just couldn't even keep the things in stock. It was just they were selling so fast. That was insane. And at that point we really knew what we were doing too, so we could get that the listing up and get it selling really fast, and then quality listing with quality images, and really we had like one competitor, and it was like, and we just destroyed that competitor because he didn't really know what he was doing. So it didn't take us very long to take number one.
Wow.
Wow.
And did you have an inspection service to check out the products in China before they got shipped over? Because I know with electronics that's it's kind of important.
No, we were working with somebody that uh, she was good enough that she would actually go to those factories for us and do inspections, and like she was always talking to the manufacturer for us, so we weren't really too worried about it. So we were getting our shipments. We used to get the shipments sent to us, and then we'd send them off. Then we
Mm.
started getting them sent directly to Amazon. Yeah,
So you
so
had like an agent in China who was
mhm.
helping you source the products and inspect them and then send them. That's actually can be a really effective way of doing things because, yeah, they can. I assume this person spoke Mandarin, did they? So they could communicate really well with the factory.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she was native. Yeah, what was it? She was trying to think of the region, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, she had been fairly new at that point, but just a few years, and she didn't have a lot of clients, so she was willing to go the extra mile and actually, like, she would go to all the different factories we were testing and like talk to them, make sure they were the ones that were actually manufacturing the product. That can also happen is they're just a third party in between the manufacturer and
They're just
the actual
wholesaling.
factory, and yeah, you got to watch out for them.
Mm. So did she just get like a percentage of the sales that you would make with the factory? Is that the deal you had?
Yeah, so, well, it's hard to know exactly. She just quote us the price. So
Ah,
she would just mark it up each one or whatever she thought was fair. We would sometimes check with other agents or whatever and see what they were selling for, so we knew she wasn't like doing anything outrageous, any outrageous markup on us. Yeah.
cool.
And then
That's crazy,
eventually,
man.
Sony then ended up hitting us with uh, what was it, copyright or something because our controller's shape was too close to theirs. So then Amazon just yanked us off, pulled our listing off one day just before Christmas when we were really hitting the sales. So we got stuck with like huge amount of inventory. Then um, yeah, then so after that we created our own website and started selling them off that way, just to unload the rest of the stock. And
Wow. Did you manage to sell it out?
yeah, yeah, it was difficult. I mean, that's a whole nother story about trying to sell off Amazon, and it's tough. And we were losing money for a while there, but eventually figured out how to uh, get it to the point where the advertising costs don't just eat all your profits.
Mm. If you can
So
get it to work, I mean, once you've got a product that you know sells on Amazon, then you can build a whole direct marketing funnel off Amazon. Like if you had a PlayStation controller and you had some back end products to sell to people, like maybe I don't know, extra cables or like other products that similar people would like, that could have been a whole other business. But I assume at that point where you just wanted to get rid of the stock and
yeah,
um,
I mean, I wasn't feeling like it was selling that fast, and it's kind of surprising that it was that difficult. I just don't think people really have the trust that they do with Amazon. It's, I don't know. I could see how like we could have built up a website, but yeah, we weren't really adding more products and like making it look as like a big legitimate site. So
That's a good thing about Amazon is people just trust it. So if something's on there, they assume it's not going to be a scam. But when you've got your own little website and it looks kind of rusty, people think
mm,
they're just going to get ripped off sometimes. So you have to get
yeah,
past that barrier. Okay. So then at some point you decided to build this tool. So tell me about the transition period from Amazon to building the software.
yeah, we're kind of just. Uh, I mean, we're realizing like the models we were carrying, the printers are dying, and they're gonna slowly um, disappear. And so we started working on, well, my cousin was already a programmer, my brother was already a programmer. We had, we felt like we had, you know, really good knowledge of how to sell on Amazon at this point. So we felt like we could really find those areas that are difficult in Amazon. And we found that the keyword coverage for a listing was the most important part of getting sales, or well, not the most important. The three would be the image and your copy, your ad copy, and then there'd be the keyword coverage. And the keyword coverage was difficult. It's difficult to just think about all the different ways that a customer could sell. And so we created a tool that would actually look at where all of the competitor listings are showing up. So every single search phrase that's out there in Amazon, our tool is going through and then finding where the competitor is showing up for every one of those phrases. We've just scraped all of Amazon. And so now we can take all of those search phrases and then just give it to that listing so that, and now we know we can organize it too, like which is the most important phrases for that listing. And now you can also write the listing in such a way where the most common phrases used are going to be the ones that are like up in the title and the bullet points and stuff that when the customer sees the listing, clicks on the listing, it's matching what they actually put into Amazon, because very important that they see that what they're searching for is your product. So it just helps through with the click onto your listing and the click to actually purchase once they're on this.
So was this stuff, so these were challenges, like you mentioned keyword coverage and stuff. Were these things that you learned were important through selling the ink cartridges and selling the controllers and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah. It was just at the time we were selling it, there wasn't much knowledge out there about how to even do any of this. But yeah, over time we figured out all the best ways of selling, or how to just keep improving sales and like start outranking your competitors, and or like showing up in spots where your competitors aren't even showing up.
Interesting. So this tool that you built basically helps people to do that, to get their listing filled with all the right keywords and
Mm,
also manage the advertising. So let's have a look, man. Walk me through how WordTree works and how people can give it a try.
yeah, all right. So this would be where you kind of start with a new keyword report. So this is how you would generate the keyword report for a new listing or an existing listing.
So just
So
to back it up before you dive in, so why would somebody want to create a keyword report?
well, this is going to be what will give all those keywords I was talking about. So let's say
So the keywords
here,
that people would type in to find, say, your ink cartridge or your controller.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it'd be mm, like you're listing, let's say the ink cartridges, it may not be showing up in all the customer searches now. So some of those searches that they're looking for your product or similar product, and your listing isn't showing up at all for their search because you haven't matched the necessary keywords. And so and then it's also about, like what I was talking about before, is like understanding which are the most important phrases for your listing, so you can kind of start matching them into your listing.
Cool.
Um, so here you would put in like your ASIN, and then on the next page you would put in your competitors' ASINs,
Mhm.
and then it would give you this report like this. And so this kind of shows like what's the most important keywords. So this is like how relevant it is to your listing.
Mhm.
So most likely when the customer types in garlic press, they'll buy it, or it's most relevant to your listing if this customer is searching garlic press.
Oh, yeah.
And this is more about volume. So like the customer is searching a lot for, they're putting in pampered chef a lot, but it's not as relevant. So it's not as likely they're going to actually buy yours. Um,
So the ones at the top, they're probably ones that you want to have in the title, in the bullets, in the description. They're the ones
yeah.
you want to prioritize, right?
hmm So you kind of, yeah, I mean, you kind of want to think about it a little bit too, but when you're writing it and how you're going to structure your sentences and all that. But yeah, you can kind of use these as your guide as to how you're going to write it. And then let's see, we'll go listing builder. And then this would be, so you can first, like if you already have an existing listing, you can go over here and you can import in your listing. And then this bar here will show you what percentage you've actually covered. So right now we have 73% keyword coverage. And then these here are the phrases that are currently missing.
Mm. So
It's not
do you copy and paste the different elements of your listing into here, or does it pull it up for you? We've got the title and the bullets
like
and
if you
stuff.
want like this, you want over here. Is that here?
Yeah. How does that information get there? Does it do it itself, or do you have to put it in manually?
These you don't. We have it. We don't really want people to just be copy and pasting in phrases because you're gonna not have a good listing if you're just throwing in phrases.
Hmm.
You really want to. You're trying to write out sentences and actually sell your product. Um,
What I mean is when you import the listing, so the
mhm.
information shows up on the right hand side, is that something that's done automatically? Like I saw
Oh
it.
yeah, this is all. This will all come in from your listing when you import.
Ah, so it brings up the title, the bullets. Oh, that's cool. Okay. And then it just tells you which keywords you don't have currently on the left. Is
Yeah,
that right?
that's
Cool.
right. And then yeah, your descriptions here pulls in that. And then only thing it doesn't import is the back end because
Hmm.
we're not tying into your seller account at all. So it's completely private. It just
Right. So there's no API. It just comes straight from the public listing that anyone can see anyway.
yeah.
Cool.
So the back end you maybe would have to well usually most people will just dump their back end and then use this and then you
Just
can
throw them all in. Yeah.
and then yeah at this point you can kind of let's say you've written up your listing you like it but you're still missing some keywords. So now you can start going like this, just throwing them into your back end and just like load up the rest of your keywords.
Hmm.
And that will give you the rest of the keyword coverage that you're missing. See how the bar starts to starts to remove these
Hmm.
and the bar starts to increase over here. So you can kind of see that you're getting the full coverage.
Cool.
And then let's see. So and then this is our rank tracker here, and can be your list.
So for somebody who's perhaps new, explain what is ranking of a keyword.
So rankings just like in this case be a garlic press. So right now, if I go into Amazon and I type in garlic press, that would mean that Alpha Grillers is going to show up as number 2. So the second result on the page of Amazon when I type in garlic press in Amazon.
Which is exactly where you want to be. That's probably, yeah, that's very, very good. So most people, when they put their product into this rank tracker, it'll probably
Mhm.
be like 300 or 45 or something for most keywords, right?
Yeah, which is worth nothing really if you're back that far. Yeah.
So we want to get to page one, and I don't know exactly how many results there are on page one. Maybe it's 20 or 30, but
Yeah, that varies a little bit, but yeah.
we want to be less than, we want to be like 5, 10, 15, something like that. And
Yeah, it's
every
very
keyword,
heavily skewed to the top 5, even top 3 is like 30% of sales.
mm, and every single keyword, you'll be on a slightly different position. So for garlic press, you might be like here, you're second. For garlic mincer, you're 14th.
Yeah.
So
So
this is really
like you
valuable information.
could maybe like click here and then you can see our what we do is pull in all your competitors. So what you had used in like your search report originally was you had included all your competitors. Well, we can make it so like let's see, get some of these there. Like add these competitors in there and kind of compare how you're doing for this specific keyword. So this is garlic press. We can see like on the 16th, our competitor showed up at 6th and we showed up at 2,
Mm.
you know. or like for some reason this day Amazon dropped us back to 4 and our competitor went up to 2. And we find that Amazon is often like running tests, so they'll be moving keep listings around a bit, trying to make sure that they just want to see how customers react when the listings are mixed around a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you can like, so you can just kind of go around to each of your keywords and see how you're performing. So, yeah. And then this is our PPC tool. So you can like come over here, create a list, like take your product after you've created the keyword report, and what we do is use that information in the keyword report to give us the keywords that we would be bidding on in with our PPC wizard. And then you just need to put in your SKU, sales price, profit per sale, conversion rate, and target A cost. And
Mm-hmm.
we advise going for a break-even PPC campaign, meaning you're not trying to make any money on the sales with PPC. You're just trying to help your listing get, because sales that are generated off of PPC will help the keyword rankings, meaning where you show up in those search results like we we're talking about. If
Mm.
you keep putting in money and getting sales through your PPC, you'll start to slowly rank your product up.
Yeah. So for words like garlic press, if you spend money on PPC for the keyword garlic press and
Mm-hmm.
you get sales, your ranking for garlic press will go up. And so if you can do that for multiple keywords,
Yeah,
your
and
position will
there's a
increase.
little correlation even with a sale on any keyword will help all keywords. There's a
Interesting.
little bit of that, but yeah, more generally, you do want the sales on the specific keyword because Amazon will keep rewarding you for when they see that your listing works well for that specific customer's search. So if
Mm.
you're, because their job is to make it so that when a customer searches, they're providing a relevant listing to that customer. So, yeah. Uh, so once that's all created, they pretty well are hands off at that point. Most people don't have to do anything. Some people maybe would change their daily campaign budgets, but for most, they won't even need to do that. It's more like if you're really selling a lot, uh, then you might have to increase your budgets. And then this is an example of what this is a customer that's been selling for about 30 days now. And then you can kind of see like, here's the sales and clicks and orders. And then the target A cost is here. That's the average cost of sale. So if they sell $100 product, it would be about $10.85.
It's really healthy ACOS. And so I'm curious, how does the word tree PPC tool actually help you manage? Does it tell you which keywords to put into, say, a manual campaign? Is that how it integrates?
You don't have to do anything. We use the API at this point. So
Also, the PPC manager is through API. Cool. So
yeah,
it will literally run the campaign for you.
yeah, literally, yeah, it does it all. You don't at this point, if you want, then we do tie into the API, and
Cool.
it's just on the advertising part of it, so that's the only thing we can see.
Great.
And we create 3 different listings within Amazon, and then we start adding and removing keywords, adding negatives, and then we're watching performance of each of those keywords and then making adjustments, maybe removing the keyword if it wasn't performing, maybe increasing the bids, maybe moving into our like high conversion rate and then targeting that specific keyword a little more, you know, things like that. And just every day we make adjustments to the campaigns.
Cool. So how can people sign up and try it out?
Well, we're gonna set up a link for you, and we'll give a 25% discount so people can come in, and then the keyword report is the only upfront cost that it tries out. The PPC manager has a 21-day trial on it, and our rank tracker has a 31-day free trial on it.
Cool. So people can just plug it in, try it out for free, see if it works with them in their business.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
the only
Well,
thing you have to pay for is the keyword report. It's the only thing we can't just give away for free because our costs are, we don't really make any money on the keyword reports because each of our keyword reports are custom made. We have to basically come back and like back test into Amazon every keyword report. It takes us like a couple hours to generate each keyword report, and our costs are pretty high on it, so we can't afford to just give that part away free, but the rest is.
awesome. Well, guys, there'll be a link in the description of this video if you want to go and grab 25% off WordTree, try it out for yourself. And then, yeah, you can just have a play around, try the PPC tool, try the keyword tracker, and yeah, see how it fits into your business. So, Paul, it's been really insightful, man. Any last words, anything else you wanted to mention before we wrap things up?
Can't think of anything, but yeah, if anybody has any questions, they can just shoot me a message on our site. I'm happy to help people.
Awesome. So
We
it's
have a
just
blog.
wordtree.io, right? To
Yep,
find you?
wordtree.io.
Perfect. Cool. All right, Paul. Well, it's been awesome
Yeah,
catching
thanks
up,
for having
learning
me
about your
on.
story. You're
Been great.
welcome. And I hope people go check out WordTree if they need help with, product tracking, keyword researching, PPC management, stuff like that. Looks like a useful tool. And yeah, we'll hopefully hear back from you very soon. Thanks, man, and we'll catch up. We'll catch up very soon.
Oh, great. Thanks.